What's up, friends? Welcome back to our channel today. I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. I hope it's like one of the best days of your life. We are actually having some of the best days of our lives over here in the Hendrickson home. As you know, like from the last video, we were on a little media fast here in all of January. We're not watching TV or playing video games or scrolling Facebook. So if you haven't seen that video, you can watch that after this video. But in this video, we're going to do a huge China adoption update for everybody that wants to know. Hi friends, my name is Winter Hendrickson and I have 4 kids that I adopted from the foster care system, and I want to tell you like my brief 1-minute story here to get everybody up to date about our China adoption. So back in March, literally like my one minute update here. Back in March, me and my husband were praying and we were talking about what we wanted to do financially next, and he just had a raise at work, and just like we were just talking so it basically came down to we can buy a bigger house or we can adopt from China. It's like both of which were like really big dreams in our life, but when it came down to it, we decided to adopt from China. So we went into the process, like it was quite sudden, and we had never qualified before to adopt from China, even though we've wanted to adopt from China since I was 16. Since we got married, we have always known we wanted to adopt, especially from China, just because of some things, I don't know, you know things. And we just like really had a huge passion for China. So we jumped in and they told us it would be 3 years before we would see our child. So we're like, okay, we need to get going on this. So we started the process and we were like cranking out the paperwork, hoping that it would take maybe 2 years. And then halfway through the process, we realized that, well, we found our child. So halfway through the process, we found our child. And we were told that it was going to take 1 year. So we started the adoption from scratch in March, and we will hopefully be traveling in April with all 4 of our children on the way back, because we're adopting from China to adopt this child. So that's kind of where we're at, guys, and you guys have been following along. I've been updating you guys all the way of what we're doing. I haven't been able to tell you the gender of this child or their name yet, just because they are still in custody of China, and they are not our child yet. So until we get a letter of approval, we cannot say anything about this child. So that's kind of a bummer. It doesn't make it as fun for you guys. Some of our close family knows, but that's about it. So I'm sorry, because I want to show you pictures and tell you about them because they are adorable. So, but I can tell you this, if you want to know a update, we are not adopting a baby. I think that has been a little bit of misconstrued information. When me and my kids, like every single child in my house, we call him our baby. So like our son Gabriel, we call him Gaby Baby, and Jenny's like our little baby. They're our babies, but they are old, they're 7, 10. How old are my children? 7, almost 10, 12, and 17. So those are the ages of our older children. So this is not a baby. This is a older child. So that's a lot of information for you guys. It's a little bit of a taste of getting you mentally prepared of what you'll see and hear from us. We're not adopting a baby, so no newborns. Actually, you can't really adopt a newborn from China. Typically, they are 2 years old or older. Probably more like 3-year-old and older. So, and most of the children have a moderate special need to a severe special need. So just kind of to mentally prep you for all of that. We are not adopting a baby. Over Christmas, I got a question asked several times, are you guys gonna get your baby soon? I'm like, well, it's not a baby. And they're like, what? It's not a baby? I'm like, no, it's not. And it's always a surprise, and I just wanted to clear that information up. But anyways, here's where we're at with the China adoption process. We were supposed to send our dossier off a month ago, and it still hasn't been sent. So all the paperwork has been completed for it, and our dossier is just a piece of paper, a piece of information of a not just a piece of paper. It's like a million pieces of paper about our life and about our children's lives and about how we want to adopt, and like to show that we can do this, we can adopt from China. And we send that to China, and they decide whether or not they give us approval or not to adopt this specific child. And we already are matched with this child. So we, in the dossier, we state this child's name and that we want to adopt this child. So that's kind of exciting, but we haven't sent it. We had a few mishaps. We did elect to have our documents certified and authenticated by our agency, Holt, which is our agency, but that's taking a long time. The lady that is in charge of the dossiers there, unfortunately, has stepped down from her position, and there's a new one in place. And I don't think that's holding up too much, but there was a little bit of a delay there with that whole process. Just, you know, new person working with, has never done it as often as the person before. The other person was an amazing expert, and I gotta ask them a lot of questions before they did retire or move on from their position, however you want to say it. And then our physical exam, we had it done in March for our home study as well, and all these documents need to be 6 months old or like younger. So even if you have a birth certificate, you have to get an updated one that's 6 months old or less. So I think I have a whole video on like the requirements like for the dossier, and I'll put that below if you like documents, if you like that head knowledge. If you're in the process of it, you might want to watch that video too. Anyways, so we got it authenticated, but when they sent it to the Chinese embassy to get it certified, they said that they couldn't certify it because it needed to be notarized by the doctor and not by the state within 6 months. So we were just like, the information was wrong. So luckily we have a super sweet doctor in town, and she just re-notarized it for the right date, rewrote everything out and re-notarized for the right date. We had that sent off. It was kind of like a mad rush right before Christmas. I wanted to get it sent off, and it got to them in time before Christmas. So that is now being sent to be authenticated. I can't hate that word. I don't know how to say it. And then certified by the Chinese embassy. So all the other documents are back, and they are certified and authenticated. I don't know how to say it. All right, so and then we also did some really fun things. Like, I was actually dreading taking pictures of the inside of our house. I don't know why, but over New Year's we had friends and families come and visit, and we have to take pictures of the inside of our house. Sorry, I didn't say that. You have to take a few pictures of the inside of your house so that China can see what your house looks like and stuff. But we had some friends coming to visit. It's like my sister for New Year's. So I was like, kids, we're cleaning the house. So we cleaned the house, and then I was like, oh, the house is perfectly clean. So I just snapped a few pictures and we sent them off to our agency. It's gonna be perfect. So 2 birds, 1 stone. Done. That was exciting. I don't like cleaning. I like cleaning. I just don't like to be perfect. Does that make sense? It doesn't have to be perfect, but I feel like China wants it to be perfect, so we will look perfect. And like, our paperwork is pretty impressive. I mean, like, that whole stack, that dossier that I sent off, I sent it in the mail. I was like, this is like my whole life, and this is my whole year. I spent hours and hours and hours on all these documents, and when I sent it off, I felt a little emotional about it because that was a lot of work. I'm gonna just say, like, when you adopt from China, it's a lot more work than it is like paperwork than it is for the foster care system. I felt like they did all the paperwork for us in foster care. We have, like, maybe it's just because we have such amazing workers, I don't know, but they really made it easy for us to adopt from foster care. And through China, it's like a lot of it is like you have to do the footwork yourself and obviously foot the bill yourself, whereas foster care, you don't have to. So there's just like benefits to both, though, I would say, or just like preferences to both. So whatever you decide to do, I think I have a whole video about that too. I'll link it below about foster care versus international adoption. Either way, a child gets a home, so win-win. What else to say about China? We are taking all of our children to China. I know it's kind of a controversy, but I have been reading in some forums, and I have decided that it is the best to bring our children to China, despite some other negative sides to that. The main reason I want them there is this is their new sibling as well, and it's a part of their life, and it's going to be a really awesome experience for them to see a different culture and to where they come from and their new sibling comes from, and to have a grid for that. Like, I feel like every single American needs to leave our borders and go and see another part of the world and experience it before they're 18, because I feel like sometimes we are pretty like, we don't know what real world's like. So I think it's really good. And then also, like, I've seen a lot of videos on Facebook. I'm part of a support group there of like the kid in China, like your child that you're adopting, like really like lighting up like when they're playing with their siblings over there. Like the first time they smile, the first time they start to trust you is when they see you and the other child like being trusted, like you and your child like having a relationship. They feel like they can do that too. And our children are not white, so I really feel like that will actually help our new child too, because they probably haven't seen a white person before. I'm just guessing. I'm not like, they come from a smaller community, this child does, so I'm just guessing they haven't seen too many white folk before, and now they're gonna go live with 2 white people. So our children, our boys are Asian. They're from Thailand originally, and then our younger 2 are Native American, and so I feel like they're gonna like all kind of look alike a little bit. I mean, they're not Chinese, of course, but they at least they'll feel like more comfortable being around other kids, and they're used to being around kids. Like they're in an orphanage or a foster home, so it will be a very useful thing for me. And plus, I don't want to leave my kids anymore, so I want them with me all the time forever. So anyways, those are just all the reasons why. There's a lot of reasons why not to. I could get into that. I think it just comes down to preference, honestly, at the end of the day. And so just keep praying for us, for our children as we do this. It is a huge financial commitment to take them with us, but I feel like it will be worth it in the end. So, and also that they'll be caught up on school so that they don't get behind in school. I know that it's like part of the big reason why we might have not brought them was because of school. But we decided at the end of the day, this is educational for us. It's all preference, guys. So we can talk about it if you want, but it's just preference. So what's the steps next for China? So just so that everybody knows what's happening, we will be sending our dossier to China within the next 2 weeks here. Dossier process normally takes about 2 months. Lately, it's only been taking 1 month. So once we get through the dossier process, like you send your dossier and then you get LID, which is locked in dossier. That's what happens within a week. And then after that, they tell you whether or not you're approved or not. And that's when you get LOA, which is letter of approval. So we'll probably update you when we get a letter of approval, and we'll show you a photo of our new child, and just, you know, celebrate with you guys about that, because that's a big deal. That's when things are a little more official, like you're for sure can adopt this child. So before then, I don't feel right about showing them. So and then after that, we have to wait for article pickup and then travel approval, so TA. And then we can book our tickets. And then once they have a family day set up, they used to call it gotcha day, but since that has some negative connotation, they call it family day now. So if you're new to the adoption community, they don't call it gotcha day anymore. They call it family day, which means that's the day you will meet your child officially in China. That normally happens on Mondays. So that's exciting. So there's a lot of cool things happening. You want to hit that subscribe button so you can follow along on this journey with us. Thank you so much, guys, for watching and supporting our videos. You guys are such a blessing to us. I cannot wait to show you pictures of our China child. Not China baby. Seriously, we call him China baby all the time. This is why you're confused. Anyways, all right, guys, I love you so much. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.